Well, what's going to happen here, ladies and gentlemen? They're putting their foot down. The Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia, the Newcastle United owners, are saying, no, Isak, you can't leave. We've tried to sign too many replacements for you, and you're training alone. You're not allowed to come to the team barbecue, but you will have to play for Newcastle United again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Football Yannick. We are going to react to this story coming from The Telegraph. Is an exclusive from Luke Edwards. Alexander Isak's fury as Newcastle tell him, you're going nowhere, mate. Very, very dramatic indeed, you must say. I did wonder if they would show some gonads and just say this. And we can speculate what it means. We'll go through the article. Is he going to be reintegrated? I don't think anyone should buy him for Fantasy Premier League, because I don't think he's going to play for a while. He's training alone as well. We're going to get into it. Guys, welcome back. Thank you for joining me. Of course, there is daily content here on this channel, Football Yannick, a YouTube channel that's a passion project of mine where I upload every single day, and I'm trying to reach 20,000 subs by the end of the summer. Time of recording, we are 749 off. I think it's achievable, so thank you for liking and subscribing. It means a lot. Right, so Luke Edwards, the journalist here, writes, Isak has been told by Newcastle United's board he's excuse me, he is not for sale this summer and will not, categorically here guys, not be allowed to join Liverpool as well. You can't join them in a show of defiance from the club's Saudi owners. Newcastle's steadfast position on the matter has caused acrimony and tension, with Isak refusing to accept the decision with good grace. But I want to go! He has subsequently been ordered by manager Eddie Howe to train away from the group until Isak is willing to get his head around the fact that he will be denied a move in this transfer window. He will not play for the club. It's a high-risk approach from Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, which owns Newcastle, but its position, as revealed by Telegraph Sport last month, has always been the same. Fair effing play, man. Showing like some steel here. Liverpool were made aware of Newcastle's refusal to consider a sale when they had a bid around 110 million rejected last week, hence their decision to back away from the transfer. It did seem like a dog barking and nearly biting their hands, and Liverpool were, fine, we won't come back. Unless you call us. Liverpool have indicated they will not bid again unless Newcastle change their position, which sources have reaffirmed to the Telegraph Sport is extremely unlikely, even if they sign another striker. There you go, guys. Sign Nicholas Jackson. He'll start for you in the season, and maybe you can play him with Isak at some point. Look, just a little graphic here. Since Isak made his debut, he's the third top goal scorer in the Premier League, only behind Salah and Haaland. Not bad company to be keeping, of course. Howe has been aware of the club's stance for some time and has been left to try and smooth things over with the Sweden international, which is, unsurprisingly, proving difficult and is severely testing his patience. Speaking after his side's 2-2 friendly draw of Espanyol at St James's Park on Friday night, which was last night at time of recording, Howe said it was clear that he can't involve Isak as things stand. Yeah, with him sulking, his teammates won't want to play with him. He's tried to abandon them, bro. He says it's clear we can't involve him in the group, but the striker informed the club while they were away at Singapore for a pre-season that he wanted to explore options away for a move, which basically means I want to leave. Isak missed the tour of Asia with a minor thigh injury, quotations, but went on to train alone at Real Sociedad without Newcastle's permission. He's doing all the naughty boy stuff, the poor behaviour. Not a good look, I must say. Howe had previously warned no player could expect to act poorly and train with the group as normal. Yeah, bro, assert your authority. This is nonsense. He has not closed the door on Isak because, yeah, why would you? Who is training alone after the rest of the squad have left the building. So when everyone leaves, now you can go in. Playing for Newcastle again, but stress the situation that has to be right. Things have to be right for that to happen. Indeed. We've had discussions, and it's clear at the moment that we can't involve him with the group. I don't know how long that will be for, but that's the latest. I'd want Alex to be playing today. I'd want him training tomorrow. We would love the player to be with us. Let me make that absolutely clear. There's no part of me that doesn't want that outcome, but I don't see the current situation changing for Aston Villa, which is their first game of the season. Really... He's smart, Eddie Howe, isn't he? He's doing the right thing. Newcastle, though, have resisted the temptation to discipline the player, which is a key move. They intend to reintegrate the 25-year-old gradually when he realises he cannot force his way out of the club. You got 3 years left on your frigging contract, dude. Isak has 3 years left on his current contract. There you go. And has been told a new deal... will be negotiated almost certainly with a release clause when the transfer window shuts in September. They know there's no point trying to agree a wage increase at the moment when emotions are running so high. And what would they put in a release clause? 120? Just a flat release clause, 120? Isak's representatives have infuriated the Newcastle hierarchy, who believe the player has been badly advised. Yeah. Yeah. Multiple sources have strenuously denied there was a gentleman's agreement in place for Isak to leave this summer, and at no stage were they informed last season the player was intended to be his last season at times. Yeah, because he would have, because they if there was a gentleman's agreement, if there was this understanding, it would have been more publicized. They would have moved quicker, more strenuously. They would have made him. They would have gone into negotiations quicker because Isak was so desirable. A lot of clubs, I know Chelsea signed Joao Pedro and Delap and, other players. If you said, right, you can, big clubs around in the Barcelona, I know Barcelona are broke, but like big clubs, powerhouses, you can sign the most desirable striker on the market. If you want. It's going to be a British transfer record, 120 to 150 million, but he's there for you. They could have got it done. They could have replaced him. They could have rebuilt. They could have all shaken hands. But no, so clearly there wasn't an understanding or a gentleman's agreement. So they've infuriated Newcastle's hierarchy, Isak's people. There is also an anger at the way Liverpool have behaved, and there was a bafflement when their last bid was given nowhere near Newcastle's £150 million valuation. They're trying to mug them off, basically, is what's happening here. Despite trying to sign several forward players this summer, none of them have been seen as a direct replacement for Isak. You can't replace Isak. Just why? Newcastle's refusal to sell has universal backing at boardroom, with owner Jamie Rubin also belligerent in the face of a naked attempt by a player to force his way out of the club and apparent attempts to unsettle him. Yeah, he's your player. This wasn't the plan. You have every right. Lots of people in content creation media were saying, he's got to go. And no, he's under contract. You could, next season you have 2 years left. Newcastle, we can still make money on you. We can prepare better. Grow up. You're only 25. You got plenty of time to play and get moves. Just do this season. You're in the Champions League. We've just won a trophy. Stop being a sausage. Mad, really. The transfer, when Liverpool are willing to accept defeat, remains to be seen. Given Isak's state of mind, they still feel maybe they could test with a bid for a club record. But you can't leave it, bro. Because Newcastle, the longer you leave it, Newcastle can't get a replacement. It's literally what? On deadline day, they go, right, 120, and they just buy Jackson from Chelsea. That's really it, isn't it? Because Ollie Watkins isn't for sale now. The transfer window does not shut until September the 1st. Yeah, so we got, 3 odd weeks. Which is potentially excruciatingly long time for this standoff to continue. Howe chose his words carefully when speaking to the media on Friday night and will give Isak time and space he needs to accept the club's decision. But Newcastle are clearly Newcastle clearly have an unhappy player on their hands and will be without their leading goal scorer for the start of the league campaign. Newcastle supporters who once idolised Isak are understandably furious with the player and dismayed by his conduct. Nevertheless, Newcastle's board believe the player can be reintegrated and will go on to have a successful season with the club. Yeah, well, he stitched himself because, if he knew it was just they were going to say no and it's truly not possible, then he should have just all right, we'll just carry on, score loads of goals, try and get your, your personal stats up, your Premier League goals. I'm sure he's on goal bonuses as well. you know, your profile up. Now he's screwed because he's not training with the team. He doesn't know if there's any new, tactics and all that kind of stuff. His teammates won't want to be feeding him goals because they all don't like him at the moment. He's really screwed himself here, man. But I must say, like, I do have a great deal of admiration of the ownership because they're just not being bullied by Liverpool. Fair play. They want to be this big club. They've got this huge financial backing now. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, just don't get bullied. As soon as like you've been pushed around like this, is when you look like a beta. And they want to be like, no, we'll sell on our terms. We're going to sell for a British transfer record. We're not going to sell because of player power, because he's forcing a move. We're going to do it in our terms. And I must say, like, yeah, fair play. Look, Liverpool are going to be okay. You know, even if Darwin Núñez goes to Saudi, which is, I don't know if it's happened yet, I haven't checked. It's seemingly going to happen. They can sign another. Salah can play down the middle. Cody Gakpo can play down the middle. They've literally just bought a 95 million euro striker and Hugo Ekitike. You know, they're going to be okay. You know, they're going to be okay, Liverpool. They're a great team. They've got loads of really good youngsters as well. You know, even with Luis Diaz going, people are talking about them signing Rodrigo. They got, you know, Rio Ngamora coming through. I know he's only 16. But you know, he looks like he could, in the cups, they can comfortably rotate with this young sort of superstar. Yeah, Liverpool will survive without signing Alexander Isak. So I don't think anyone's crying for Liverpool. And I wonder how long it would take for Isak to just sort his head out and reintegrate. Like after a couple of game weeks, say Newcastle start playing well, they're cheering. You know, and he's allowed to start training with the team again. He'll probably be champing at the bit to go. We'll see like Haaland and Salah scoring. Who knows? Maybe Joao Pedro getting a few goals. Seshko coming in and scoring. And he'll be like, oh, I missed that. Can I play again, please? And I think it will get reintegrated. Let me know your thoughts, though. Please leave your opinions down in the comments. As always, very grateful for you guys hanging out with me. So thank you for supporting the content. If you want to, just like and subscribe. And I'll see you back here tomorrow, hopefully. Peace.